broken. You bind the wounded heart. You lift us from the ashes. You call us to restart. From sorrow into rising, from shadows into dawn. In the awakening you heal us and make the weak ones strong. Rise, oh you shadow. Your chains have hit the ground. Oh you shadow. Your voice has found its sound. We let go of the bitterness, for we're no longer bound. Releasing the former pain, our healing will resound. Yeah. So I rise in your compassion, I walk in your embrace. YaHUaH, my healer, my refuge, strength and place. The wounds become a witness, the scars now shine with light. For in the great awakening, you turn my pain to mine. Oh, you surround, your chains have hit the ground.
All right, Mashpaka. So as you can see on the screen, Abyb, align and begin correctly. That's what we'll be looking at this yom Mashpaka. So, my beloved, let us quiet ourselves. Not just our mouths, but our minds. Because many people have come into this moment tired. Some of you are confused about your life. Some of you feel like nothing is moving. Some of you feel like you have been stuck in the same place for too long. And the question in your heart is simple. When will things change? But this yom, we're not starting with your situation. We are starting with YaHUaH's timing. When we look at the scripture in Shamut 12, or Exodus 12, verse 2, it said, "This month shall be unto you the beginning of months." And when we look closely, Mashpaka, we see something very simple. YaHUaH did not say this is the beginning of month for everybody. He said, unto you. That means this is not about the world's calendar. This is about his people aligning to his time. So what is Abyb? we're going to make this plain. You see, Abyb is the first month of the year according to YaHUaH. And it was not chosen randomly. It was chosen when the earth itself begins to change. So this is what happens in the month of Abyb, Rashpaka. When we looked into it, the sun begins to shine longer. The ground begins to produce again. Trees begin to bud. Yeah? And crops begin to grow. So YaHUaH says, when you see life coming back, that is your beginning. He did not say January. He did not say when man say. He said the month of Abyb. When you see life coming back. But when creation witnesses, putting it plainly, if nothing is growing, it is not the beginning. If nothing is changing, it is not the beginning. YaHUaH starts it here when life shows up. So why does this matter to us, Mashpaka? You see, because many people have been starting their year wrong. You see, we tend to start the year tired. We tend to start the year confused. And we tend to start the year making resolution that we can't keep. And then by the pagan February, we already fall behind. But when we look into it, Mashpaka, realize YaHUaH never designed life like that. When we look into it, Mashpaka, realize he said, start when I say start. Because when we start at the wrong time, everything feels like a struggle. I want to tell you a simple story of a farmer. He was not a rich man, not a famous man, just a simple farmer. You see, every year he tried to plant early, before the rains came, before the soil was ready, because this farmer thought, if I start before everybody else, I will get ahead. So guess what he did? He planted, and he waited, and he waited. Nothing came up. The sun was too harsh. The ground was too dry. The seed just sat there. And guess what? This farmer became frustrated. So this farmer started to think to himself and said, why is nothing working for me? Why is nothing working for me? Then one day an older farmer came and said, why are you planting now? And guess what the other farmer said? I want to get ahead. The older farmer laughed and said, "You cannot get ahead of the season." He said, "Watch the earth, wait for the rain, wait until the ground softens, wait until life is ready to respond." So this farmer took the advice of the older farmer. So the following year, he waited. He watched. He learned. He did not rush. And when the time was right, he planted. And guess what happened this time? Everything came up. Those same seed that he planted previous year, on that same land, that same farmer was reaping. You know what was different? YaHUaH's timing. Beloved, do you see it? Do you see it, my beloved Mashpaka? You see, nothing was wrong with the seed. Nothing was wrong with the farmer. The problem was he was out of season. And many people today are frustrated with their life. Not because something is wrong with them, but because they are moving out of YaHUaH's timing. See, Abyb is YaHUaH saying now. Abyb is when YaHUaH says, now the ground is ready. Now the light is right. Now things will respond. I'm gonna ask someone to read for me or read for us Abary or Deuteronomy 16, verse 1.
Abary 16:1. Guard the month of Abyb and perform the Pesach to YaHUaH, your Elohim. For in the month of Abyb, YaHUaH, your Elohim, brought you out of Natsarim by night.
All right, tada for reading. So I want you to circle the keyword there, observe. Observe. And what does observe means? It means to us to watch. Pay attention. Do not ignore the signs. Because YaHUaH is speaking through creation. So some of us feel like our life has been in winter. When we look at it, we see nothing moving, nothing growing. Everything seems like it's going slow, slow, and slow. But I want my Mashpaka to understand this and hear this clearly. Winter is not death. It is waiting. It is the time that we wait. And Abyb is proof of that. Because what looked dead was not dead. It was just waiting for the right time. Waiting for the right time. I want you to let this resonate with you, Mashpaka. Your life is not over. Your progress is not finished. Your calling is not canceled. It may just have been out of season. Mashpaka, realize YaHUaH does not rush. He times. When we want to see things go fast, we want to rush things. YaHUaH said, and YaHUaH times. When we start to panic, YaHUaH prepares. You see, when we try to force things, what we see YaHUaH does, he waits for the right moment. And this is what Abyb teaches us. Mashpaka, stop forcing. And what we need to do is start aligning. So here are some questions that I want us to ask ourselves. Am I moving because I'm pressured or because YaHUaH is leading? Am I starting things because others are or because the time is right? See, because if we move too early, Mashpaka, we will struggle unnecessarily. So readjusting our thinking about the new year, Mashpaka. You see, when the world says new year means new goals, this is what YaHUaH says. YaHUaH is saying new year is equal to correct alignment. So when we hear the world keep on saying push harder, YaHUaH says move with me. So Mashpaka, today, this is not about celebration only. This is about realignment. Abyb is YaHUaH saying, I'm giving you another chance to start correctly. Not rush, not pressured, not confused, but align. So I ask you, what have you been forcing that YaHUaH has not released? What have you been trying to grow in the wrong season? Because this time, Mashpaka, you will not move early. You will not move late. You will move when YaHUaH says move. So seeing what YaHUaH showing by learning, discern your season. Beloved, we have looked at the fact that sometimes issue is not our effort. Sometimes the issue is just timing. Now, Mashpaka, we must answer a serious question. How do we know what time we are in? Because if we don't know our season, we will either move too early, which you don't want to do, or we move too late, which again we don't want to do. And if we move too early or move too late, we can get easily frustrated. But again, Mashpaka, YaHUaH always gives signs. YaHUaH does not leave his people guessing. No, he don't. We're going to take a look at Barashit 1, verse 14. Can someone read it for us?
Barashit 1:14. And Elohim said, let light come to be in the expanse of the Shamayim to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs in appointed times and for days and years.
All right. Toda for reading. And I want you to take a closer look on the word signs. And if you notice, before anything changes, we see YaHUaH sends a sign. And if we take a look at Matthew 16, verse 3, we see Yahusha himself rebuke the people for missing signs. Can someone read it for us?
YaHUaH
16 verse
16:3. And in the morning, stormy weather today, for the Shamayim is red and overcast. You hypocrites know how to discern the face of the Shamayim, but not the signs of the times.
All right, so for reading. So we see the word signs used here by Yahusha, where he is rebuking the people for missing the sign. So it is quite clear. So this is not new. We see people have always struggled to recognize their moment. Their moment. So there is a time for everything, Rush Parker. There is a time for everything. And we're going to read Ecclesiastic Achad 3, verse 1. Can someone read it for us?
Ahabah 3:1. To all there is an appointed time, even a time for every pursuit under the Shamayim.
All right. So what this verse is showing, said there is a time to start. There is a time to stop. There is a time to speak. And there is a time to be silent. And I want my mashpal to recognize that the problem is not life. The problem is being out of time with life. And when we take a closer look at Yahushua's life, we see where he also moved by time. And we're going to look at YaHUaH or John 2 verse 4 and YaHUaH 7 verse 30. Can someone read those verses for us?
YaHUaH 2:4. Yahusha said to her, Woman, what is that to me and to you? My hour has not yet come.
YaHUaH 7 verse 30.
YaHUaH 7:30. So they were seeking to seize him, but no one laid a hand on him because his hour had not yet come.
All right, so in both cases, we see even Yahusha did not move before time. He did not move before time. If he did not rush, why are we rushing, Mashpaka? Why are we rushing? I want to tell a story about waiting versus missing. There was a young man who wanted a job. He went ahead, he applied, but guess what? Nothing happened. He said, I'll just wait. Month passed. And then one young, someone said to him, there was an opening, but you never followed up. And this young man said, I thought I was waiting. But he was not waiting. He was inactive. I want you to listen carefully, Ash Parker. In Jacob 2 verse 17, it speaks about belief without work is dead. Can someone remind us of that verse?
Jacob 2:17.
Khan?
So also belief, if it does not have works, is in itself dead.
There we go. So waiting does not mean doing nothing. Waiting does not mean doing nothing. But yet, if you look at another scripture, if you look at Tahal 27, verse 14, someone remind us of what chapter said.
The Halim 27:14. Wait on YaHUaH, be strong, and let him strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on YaHUaH.
So we see something coming out here that we must understand. There's a right kind of waiting. Don't miss that. There is a right kind of waiting. So waiting can be broken down into two. And we're going to use scripture also to assist. The first one, waiting in alignment. I'm going to ask someone to read YaHUaH 40, verse 31.
YaHUaH 40:31. But those who wait on YaHUaH renew their strength. They raise up the wing up like eagles. They run and are not weary. They walk and do not faint.
All right. So now for reading. So those who wait on YaHUaH renew their strength. So this kind of waiting, what it does, strengthen us. It prepares us. It also builds us. So, Mash Parker, when you're waiting and waiting in alignment, don't worry or fret that you are stuck. You are not stuck. You are being prepared. Second type of waiting is waiting in fear. So this is the wrong kind of waiting. And we're going to look at Mashalim or Proverbs 22, verse 13. I want to read it first.
Mashalim 22:13. The lazy one says, there is a lion outside. I am going to be killed in the streets.
All right, so that for reading. So this is waiting by making excuses. So with a lot of excuse is being made when we're waiting. So this is the wrong type of waiting. And we see fear waiting, delay waiting. And when we tell ourselves that we're waiting, but when we really look at it and look deeply at it, what we are doing is trying to avoid it. So what we can do, Mash Parker, is discerning our season through fruit. And we're going to connect this back to Abyb. And if you remember what I said earlier, Abyb is known for what? For growth. So in our own life, we have to look for fruit, for the growth. And we're going to take a look at Natsarymofyahuah 7, verse 16.
By their fruits you shall know them. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes or figs from thistles?
So that's for reading. So fruit is not just people, it is result. If something is from YaHUaH at the right time, it will begin to show signs of life. Not struggle alone, not confusion alone, but response. So what we want us to stop do, Match Parker, is stop comparing our season. And this is where most of us fall short. We start to compare our season. I'm going to take a look at 2 Corinthians 10, verse 12. Can someone read it for us?
For we do not presume to count ourselves or compare ourselves with those who commend themselves, but they measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise.
All right, tada for reading. So, not because we see our our brothers and our sisters just moving, just going on. We should not compare ourselves to them because they are in their season. They are in their season. However, what it does not mean though, it's not your time yet to move. And if you remember the story I mentioned earlier about the farmer when he plant out of his season, what we see happen, it's not until he align himself to the time we see things start to happen. So clearly, even in agriculture, we see one crop grows early, another crop grows late. Same earth, but guess what? Different timing. So here in Jamaica, we're on a different time. Different part of the America is on a different timing, but we're on the same earth. When you look at 1 Chronicles 12, verse 32, realize Issachar, Yashakar, understood times. So we're going to ask someone to read it for us. 12, verse 13, 1 Chronicles 12, verse 13.
And the children of Issachar, who had understanding of the times, to know what Yisrael should do, their chiefs were 200, and all their brothers were at their command.
All right, to the for reading. That should be verse 32. To the for reading. So they did not just know scripture. What we see, they knew timing. And because they knew timing, they knew what to do. They knew what to do. So confusion comes when we don't understand our own time. So you don't know your action or action. So I want my Mash Parker to ask yourself, is there growth here? I'm going to ask someone to read 1 Corinthians 3, verse 6 to us.
I planted, Apollos water, but Elohim was giving growth.
All right. So if there is no increase, guess what? Something is definitely wrong. Something is definitely wrong. So we'll have to check and see if our timing is off. Here's another question that we can ask ourselves. Is there peace? Can someone read Colossians 3, verse 15?
And let the peace of Elohim rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be filled with thanks.
All right, toda for reading. So peace helps you decide. If you notice once you have peace on doing anything, how well it comes out. How the end product come out excellent. And here's another question we need to ask ourselves. Are doors opening? We're going to look at Revelation 3 verse 8. Can someone read that first?
I know your works. See, I have put before you an open door, and no one is able to shut it, that you have little power. Yet you have guarded my word and have not denied my name.
All right, toda for reading. So when we align ourselves to the right time, what happened? Doors open. Doors started to open everywhere. But what we don't want to do, Master Sparker, is to miss our moment. We don't want to miss our moment. I want you to hear this carefully. Can someone read Lucas 19 verse 44?
And dash you to the ground, and your children within you, and they shall not leave in you one stone upon another, because you did not know the time of your visitation.
Because you know that the time of your visitation. This is serious, Master Sparker. This is very serious because we can miss our time. See, not because YaHUaH did not move, but because we did not recognize it. You see, YaHUaH speaks through signs. YaHUaH speaks through season. YaHUaH speaks through growth. So the question that we need to ask ourselves, is he speaking? That's not the question we need to ask ourselves. The question that we need to ask ourselves is, am I seeing? Am I seeing? So, Abyb is not just a date. It is a signal. YaHUaH is saying, pay attention. Because something is shifting. Something is opening. Something is beginning. And if you can discern it, you can move correctly. So, my Mash Parker, let us remind ourselves, YaHUaH begins the year when life begins. YaHUaH gives sign so we can discern our season. Now we must face the most important part. What must I do to actually enter this new beginning? Because hearing is not enough. Can someone read James 1 verse 2 first?
My brothers, count it all joy when you fall into various trials,
Read verse 22. Sorry about Salika.
122.
Yeah, 122.
And become doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourself.
All right, that's the correct one. Toda for reading. Toda for reading. So you cannot enter new while holding the old. Many people want a new year, but they are holding on to old patterns, old thinking, old habits, old cycles, but they want a new year. Can someone read YaHUaH 43, verse 18 to 19?
Do not remember the former, nor consider that of old. See, I am doing what is new. Let it now spring forth. Do you not know it? I am even making a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert.
So that for reading. So I want you to take notice of this verse. That before YaHUaH says new things, he says, let go of the old. Let go of the old. So I want to share another story with you. The man with the old bag. So this man was traveling to a new town. He packed his bag, but his bag is full of old broken things, such as torn clothes, useless items, and things that are no longer needed. You see, when this man arrived at the new place, he had no space for anything new. What we see happening, we see people offer him better things. But he kept saying, I don't have room. You see, the problem was not the new place. The problem was this man carried the old with him. So I want you to hear this disclaimer, Sparker, that many people enter a new year but carry the old year inside of them. But carry the old year inside of them. You see, Israel had to leave Egypt, you know. Israel had to leave Egypt. And we're going to take a look at Shammut 13, verse 4. Can someone read it for us?
Today you are going out in the month Abyb.
Right. So today you're going out in the month of Abyb. So the beginning of the year, we see it was marked by coming out, leaving Egypt, not staying in Egypt, not negotiation with Egypt, but coming out, leave Egypt. So here's a question for you and me. What is our Egypt? See, Egypt is not just a place, it is also a condition. So, some question that we need to ask ourselves: what has been controlling me? What has been limiting me? What has been draining me? Because we cannot start new while we're still bound. That don't make no sense. So, breaking cycles. Some people are not in a new year, they are in a repeated year. Same problem, same struggles, same result, year after year. And why? We're going to look at Proverbs 26, verse 11, and we see why.
As a dog returns to its own vomit, so a fool repeats his folly.
All right, as a dog returns to his vomit. So, what this is saying is that nothing changes because nothing is left behind. Nothing is left behind. So, we have to make a decision. We have to make a decision. You see, Abyb is not automatic. Abyb, it requires decision. And I'm gonna ask someone to read Joshua YaHUaH 24, verse 15.
And if it seems evil in your eyes to serve Yahuwah, choose for yourself this day whom you are going to serve, whether the mighty ones which your fathers served that were beyond the river, or the mighty ones of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell. But I and my house, we will serve Yahuwah.
All right. So we have a decision to make. We have a decision to make. We have to decide what stays and what goes. What stays, what goes. Because if we don't decide, we're gonna drift. We'll be drifting away. So let us make it plain for everyone. It is time to clean our life. Number one, remove what is not working. Can someone read Hebrews 12, verse 1 for us?
We too, then, having so great a cloud of witnesses all around us, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily entangle us, and let us run with endurance the race put before us.
All right. So, not thought for reading. So, not everything is wrongdoing. Some things are just weights. Number two, change how we think. Romans 12, verse 2. Can someone remind us of that verse?
And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by renewing of your mind, so that you prove what is that good and well-pleasing and perfect desire of Elohim.
All right, to the for reading. So, new season requires new thinking. Number three, align or action. Can someone read John YaHUaH 13, verse 17?
If you know these, Baruch are you if you do them.
All right. So, We see knowing is not enough. Doing is what changes our life. So do not fear starting again. Some people are afraid of new beginnings because starting again feels like failure. But what the scripture says, though your beginning was small, that your latter end should greatly increase. And this is coming from Job 8, verse 7. So I want us to understand that Abyb is not shame. It is an opportunity. The opportunity to start over again. YaHUaH gives needy pardon for new beginnings. Can someone read Lamentation 3, verse 22 to 23?
The kindnesses of the YaHUaH, for we have not been consumed, for his compassions have not ended. They are new every morning. Great is your trustworthiness.
All right, for reading. So every new cycle comes with compassion and pardon. Every new cycle comes with compassion and pardon. You're not starting alone, Mashpaka. You're not starting alone. Within yourself, you want to say to yourself, this is my time to realign. This is my time to let go. This is my time to start correctly. We will not force what YaHUaH has not released. We will not delay what YaHUaH has opened. We will not move. We will move in YaHUaH timing. I say this again. We will not force what YaHUaH has not released. We will not delay what YaHUaH has opened. We will move in his timing. Yada YaHUaH. Shabbat Shalom, Mashpaka. We're back. We're back. We're back. So, my Mashpaka, want you to know that Abyb is not just a teaching. It is an invitation. And YaHUaH is saying, I'm opening a new cycle. But the question is, will you enter it correctly? Not rush, not fearful, not confused, but align. Can someone read for us Tahal 90, verse 12?
Teach us to number our days, and let us bring the heart to wisdom.
Right, to the for reading. To the for reading. To teach us the number of days that we may apply our hearts to wisdom. You see, because when you understand time, you will live wisely. So this month of Abyb, let us not just celebrate, let us align observe, and respond. And as you should, you will not repeat the past. You will step into something new. But now we must do something very simple. We must be still long enough to understand what has been said. Because there's a danger in hearing too much. If you hear and do not settle it in your heart, it will pass like wind. Can someone remind us of Tahal 46 verse 10?
Be still and know that I am Elohim. I am exalted among nations. I am exalted in the earth.
Right. Toda for reading. So realize stillness is not silence only. Stillness is alignment inside. So many people move too quickly after hearing truth. They rush to do something. They rush to change something. They rush to act. But the month of Abyb is not telling you to rush. It is telling you to move correctly. And sometimes the first correct movement is to stop moving wrongly. I want us to pause here in our mind, Mashbaka, and let's take a look at our life. Be honest to ourselves. Not what you say, not what others see, but what is real. Where have you been forcing things? Where have you been trying to make something work that was not being responding? Because if the ground is hard, no matter how much you plant, nothing will grow. You see, Ecclesiastic 11 verse 4 says, he that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the cloud shall not reap. See, this is not telling you to ignore signs. It is telling us not to be trapped by fear. But there is a balance. There is a balance. You must observe. But you must not be paralyzed. You must move, but you must not force. See, this is the place Abyb bring us to. A place where you are no longer guessing, no longer rushing, no longer reacting, but you are watching, understanding, and responding. See, there are some things in our life that YaHUaH has already shown us. We already know they are not working. We know they are not aligned. We already know they are draining us. But you have kept them because they are familiar. But I want Mama Sparker to get this clearly. Familiar is not the same as right. And comfort is not the same as alignment. Can someone remind us of Proverbs 14 verse 12?
There is a way which seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death.
Right, so that for reading. That for reading. So this is not about what feels right. It's about what is right in YaHUaH's timing. I want us to consider this much, Parker. A new year has begun, but time itself has not changed. The sun is doing what it's always done. The earth is doing what it's always done. So what is actually changing? Our opportunity to align. That is what makes this moment important. Not that time restarted, but that you are us being given a chance to start correctly. And Mashbaka, this is where many miss it. They hear a word like this, and they say, yes, this is good, they feel good. But once they leave and continue, they continue on that same path. And so the year changes, but guess what? They don't change. And guess what? Months later, when we check, they say nothing is different. But something was different. The opportunity was different. And guess what? We did not take it. We did not take the opportunity that was given unto us. So, I want to make this plain before everyone that Abyb is not magic. Abyb is not automatic. Abyb is a window where YaHUaH says, I am aligning things in the earth. So here's a question for you, Mash Parker. And from me also. Would you align yourself with YaHUaH? That is the question. Not what you feel, not what you owe, or what you will choose. Can someone read for Deuteronomy 30, verse 19?
I have called the Shamayim and the earth as witnesses today against you. I have put before you Chai and death, the barakah and the curse. Therefore you shall choose Chai, so that you live, both you and your seed.
So you shall choose Kai. Your choice. What would you choose? Would you choose to align with YaHUaH or not? This is where everything comes down to. Not knowledge, not teaching. See, choice. Choice. You must decide what you will stop, what you will continue, what you will begin, and you must do it honestly. You see, because YaHUaH is not measuring what you say publicly, is weighing what you decide privately. Mash Parker, let us bring this to a close in a simpler way. There are three things you must carry out of this moment. The first one is clarity. You must leave this convocation knowing, what is my season? Is something beginning, or am I still preparing? Because confusion will cause you to move wrongly. Second, courage. Because even when you see clearly, it takes courage to change. to stop what you have been doing, to release what you have been holding, to move when it is time. Not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. You see, the first warning came from Ephesus. You can know truth. You can test error. You can defend doctrine and still lose your first love. Activity without affection. Obedience without fire. The first crack in covenant life is not false teaching. It is cool devotion. Guard your love. Because when love fades, drift begins. And third one, discipline. Because alignment is not one-time decision. It is a daily walk. Every day you must observe. Every day you must choose. Every day you must adjust. Be still. Be still, my sparker. And let your life come into alignment. It's a new year. We shall let our lives get in alignment. Let us start right. YaHUaH.